The last class we're talking about that the working capital should always be adequate. It should always be adequate. Okay, this means it should not be less than required and it should not be more than required. Okay, so now why should it should not be less? But because if you don't have sufficient amount of cash, if you don't have sufficient amount of funds, then there are few problems that you might have to face. Okay, and if it is more than required, then that means that you are not a good manager, you're not managing things, you're just keeping too much money with yourself and you don't need that money. Then why should you keep that money with you? Okay, so these are few things that we have to keep in mind. All right. Okay, so then now in this class we learn what is the meaning of adequate. Finance manager, how are you going to estimate the working capital requirement of a business? It is going to work on estimation, right? If like today is 8, so what I'm talking about is, by we are talking this. Okay, the working capital should be adequate. It should not be more than required. It should not be less than required. Because if it is more than required, that means you are not managing the funds properly. You should invest those funds somewhere and earn more than just keeping the funds lying around. All right. And if it's less than required, then you won't be able to avail cash discount. You might face some problem, with the fluidity, with the liquidity, and with the ease of production and managing the business. Okay. Now the question is, what is adequate? Like, if you are the manager of an organization, then what amount of capital will you think is adequate? Okay, 5 lakh rupees is adequate. I'll maintain the balance of 5 lakh rupees throughout the year. Or 10 lakh rupees or 15 lakh rupees. So how will you reach this amount? This calculation is what we are going to learn in today's class. Okay, so we are going to talk about that. For example, if today, or let's not talk about today, is 1st April 21. Okay, new year is starting and you are the manager of the business, you are the manager of the firm, and you are trying to estimate you, okay, for the coming year, for the next year, for the coming year, for the next year, that is 1st April 21 to 31st March 22. For this year, what is the amount of working capital that I should maintain? That I should maintain. Okay, I'm trying to estimate the working capital requirement of the business. I'm trying to estimate the working capital requirement of the business. Okay, so this is what we are going to learn in today's class. Before starting with the topic, I'm going to give you a brief, it's like I'm going to build something. I'm going to give you a introduction, like a trailer of what we are doing. Okay, and then I'm going to take an example, a numerical example, and then we're going to solve that question, and then we're going to understand, okay, 5 lakh rupees is the amount of capital that I have to require, that I should maintain. Okay, clear. So before that, I'm going to go back again. I'm going to talk a little bit about operating cycle. I'm going to talk a little bit about operating cycle. Okay. So what is operating cycle? Operating cycle is the time I purchase raw material to the time I realize cash from debtor. Okay, by the time I realize, sorry, at the time I purchase raw material and then the time I realize cash from debtor. So this time gap, for example, this time, let's say, is 3 months. Okay, or 4 months or whatever, 3 months. So I am going to require the funds for these 3 months. All expenses that are going to be incurred during these 3 months, I will have to arrange on my own. I'll have to arrange. Okay? So I'll have to arrange for the money for these 3 months. Okay. For example, like I started a business with cash, started business. Okay. Now this is the last time I'm explaining this. I cannot explain this any better. So please pay attention. Please listen to me what I'm saying, and you will understand what I'm saying. It's not that difficult. Just imagine that you're starting a business and you have 10 lakh rupees. You're starting a business and you have 10 lakh rupees to start a business. Now you must have gotten this money from wherever, your personal saving, a loan, wherever. That is not the concern. You have 10 lakh rupees and you want to start a business. So what are you going to do of this 10 lakh rupees? By out of this 10 lakh rupees, let's say 5 lakh rupees you are going to invest in plant and machinery. This is fixed capital. Okay? And moreover, 2 lakh rupees you're going to invest in the property. For example, you're going to pay for the rent, you're going to pay for the lease rent. You gotten the what do you say, the factory on lease. Remaining portion, that is 3 lakh rupees, you are going to keep in hand. This is amount of working capital. Why are you keeping this money? Like, because there are so many other expenses, right? I have to purchase the stock. I have to purchase the stock. I have to make the payment to my salary, to my employees, and all other expenses. All right. So this money is for that expense. Now I started the business. I have, like, this is my land. I've taken the land on lease. This is my factory. Okay, so this amount is done and this amount is done. Factory setup, machine setup, and I've taken the land on lease. Now with the remaining 3 lakh rupees, what are you going to do? You are going to get some raw material. You're going to get some raw material into the factory compound. This is the raw material. Okay, so now your 3 lakh rupees had exhausted. You have purchased raw material. Let's say you've purchased raw material for I'm just taking, like, fictional figures. Raw material for 2 lakh rupees. So out of this 3 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees you have used to purchase the raw material, and the other amount, let's say 1 lakh rupees, you have used to make the payment of salary to employees. Okay, so employees are working and now all of your money is exhausted. You don't have any money anymore. Okay, but today, for example, you got the raw material today, let's say 8th of July 21. You got the money today. You didn't get the money, but you like purchased the raw material today, and you paid the salary today. Okay, now this employees, they are going to take 1 month to give you the finished good. Okay, so from first 8 July, on 8 July you have invested, you have exhausted all of your money. Now you will have to wait for 8th August. Okay, so for this 8th August, on this 8th August, you'll get the money again. Okay, then on 9th August, you are going to purchase the raw material again and you're going to make the payment again. Then again, there's going to be a gap of 1 month. Then after 1 month, you are going to realize the money from sales, assuming all my sales are not cash. If it is carried sales, in that case, the time is going to change, the time is going to increase. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So this time gap between purchase of raw material and realizing money from the sales, I have to manage, I have to arrange the fund for this time period. Okay, because business is not going to shut down, right? There can be other expenses as well. For example, I have to pay for tax. Some employee get hurt. Okay, so I have to like get him repaired and everything. My machinery breaks down, so I have to get the machine repaired as well. So there are so many expenses of business that are going to happen during this time period, and you cannot say कि भाई I don't have the funds. My funds are exhausted. They're gone. I don't have the funds anymore. That is not how the business is going to work. So you are going to have to manage some funds over here, manage the business. Okay. So in this class, in this lecture, we are going to try to estimate ki what is the requirement. Okay. Then how much funds do I need? How much funds do I need? Okay. So I have some questions for you. I'll just read those questions and we're going to try to solve those questions. And I think that is going to give us a very good idea of what we are going to do over here. Okay. Okay, never mind. Just ignore the cloth and everything, okay? Don't worry about it. Don't focus on that, okay? Can I paint it out? Yes, I can paint it out. Okay, that is done. So just read the question. We are going to read the question and we are going to understand what this is trying to say. Okay, so just don't get distracted by this. Okay, cool. So see, just focus on the question. I'm going to zoom in more. Let's just focus on the question. Yes, so this is the question. Is it visible? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to read the question. Please read the question with me. It says the management of Royal Industries has called for a statement. Okay, they've asked for a statement showing the working capital needs to finance a level of activity of 1,80,000 units of output for the year. The management wants to ask you that if the management wants to operate at the level of 1,80,000 units for the year, then what is the working capital requirement that they have to manage, that they have to keep with them at all time? Okay, the cost structure of the company's product for the above mentioned activity level is detailed below. Okay, cost per unit. If you are going to make one unit, I'm making 1,80,000 unit. If you can see, I'm making 1,80,000 unit. Okay, and they're asking that this is the cost per unit. Okay, so 20 rupees raw material is going to be required, direct labor 5 rupees, overheads like other expenses and everything 15 rupees, including depreciation of 5 rupees. Total cost is 40. This is my total cost. Then profit is 10 rupees and I'm going to sell this for 50 rupees. Okay, there's some additional information that is also given to you. Let's just pay attention to that information as well. See, it is saying that the minimum desired cash balance is
Yeah.
Minimum desired cash balance is 20,000. Okay, that means the management wants to keep 20,000 rupees at all time in cash with themselves. Raw material are held in stock for average of 2 months. Okay, that means when I purchase the raw material, before taking the raw material into production, okay, it takes 2 months. That means for 2 months my raw material is lying idle, it is lying around in the godown, in the storage. And after 2 months, on an average, but this is not specific like every time it take 2 months, no, no, on an average it can also take 1 month, it can also take 3 months, depends. But on an average, my raw material are lying in the stock for 2 months. Okay, working capital in progress. Now, what is working capital in progress? Assume 50% completion stage. What is working capital? What is work in progress? Work in progress means that I've taken the raw material, I've put some input, I've done some work. It is not complete, it is not finished good, but yes, 50% is complete. 50% is complete. Okay, assume 50% completion stage in regards to material, labor and overhead will approximate to half a month production. We are saying that half a month production is in work in progress. That means it is that part on which 50%, okay, it's mentioned, right? 50% labor, material and overhead is complete and 50% is remaining. Then we are talking about finished good. Finished good means that good which is 100% complete and which is ready to sell. It is ready, it is packed, we are just ready for the sale order. As soon as we are going to get the order, we are going to ship the product. That is finished good. It is remaining in the warehouse for an average of 1 month. That means for 1 month, our our finished good remains in the warehouse. Okay. Supplier of material, people who are supplying us material, that means our creditors, okay, extend a 1 month credit. Okay, they extend 1 month credit, and debtors are provided 2 month credit. Debtors get 2 month credit. Cash sales are 25% of total sales. There is a time lag in payment of wages for a month and half a month in case of overhead. That means for whatever wages I make the delay payment of wages for 1 month, and in case of overhead I delayed by half a month. So prepare a statement showing working capital needs. So this part we are not going to cover. So you can just ignore this part. We're not going to talk about this part. We can just ignore it. So I'm talking about, but this part is very important, very, very important. Prepare a statement showing working capital needs. Okay, so you have to estimate what is the working capital requirement of the business. So before starting this topic, there's something else I would like to explain, and then I'm going to start solving this question. Okay, there's one more thing. Please pay attention. What is working capital? Working capital is current asset minus current liability. Okay. What is current asset? In current asset, we talk about stock, we talk about debtor, we talk about cash, we talk about bank, we talk about bill receivable, we talk about etc. Like all those things. You get it, right? Etc. When I'm talking about current asset, when I'm talking about when I'm talking about current asset, sorry, it is current liability. So when I'm talking about current liability, what I mean is, by current liability, I mean creditors, I mean creditors, I mean my bills payable, I mean my any bank overdraft or anything. I hope the concept of current asset and current liability is clear. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is clear. Now, what am I going to do in these kind of questions? I'm going to try and estimate that what would be the stock that would be lying around with the business. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to try and I'm going to estimate the stock of the business. Similarly, I'm going to go and I'm going to try what amount would be invested in the debtors, what amount would be in cash, what amount would be in bank. Now, stock has three parts. If you know, raw material, finished goods, and work in progress. Okay, so I'm going to try to estimate the amount. Similarly, for current liabilities, I'm going to try to estimate the amount of creditors, the bills payables, and bank overdraft. Okay, and then I'm going to apply this formula, and I'll get, okay, this is my working capital requirement. This is my working capital requirement. Okay, clear to everyone? Yes, sir, it is clear. So now I start solving the question. See, first it is saying that the minimum desired cash balance is 20,000. That is great. This is my solution. This is my solution. So I'll make the format. It is current asset. In current asset, I'll include stock. In stock, I'll include raw material. I'll include finished good. I'll include WIP, work in progress, and so on. Like whatever. Then I'll include debtors. I'll include cash balance. Okay, and so on. All other current asset. Now from here, I'll calculate current liabilities. Right? I'll calculate current liabilities. Okay. For example, in current liabilities, I'll put creditors, any bank overdraft, or something like that. Whatever. We'll see. Whatever information is given to us, we'll put that information. And this is the total net working capital. That is A minus B. This is A minus B. Okay, clear to all of you?
Yes.
Yeah, if it is clear, then you don't need to respond. If it is not clear, then you can ask the question. Okay. So this is how I'm going to calculate my net working capital. Okay. So the first information that is given to me in the question is cash balance. They're saying that the firm wants to maintain. Okay, the question is visible to everyone, right? I'll just zoom in again. No problems. Yes, the question is visible, right? They're saying that the company wants to maintain a cash balance of 20,000. Okay, sir, it's okay, no problem. So I'll maintain a cash balance of 20,000. So in cash, I will add 20,000. Okay. Next, they're saying that the raw materials are held in stock on an average of 2 months. On an average of 2 months. So if I ask you, okay, so if you can imagine how is this going to work? I order raw material, they stay into my godown for 2 months, then they go for production, then they become work in progress. After work in progress for 1 month, they become finished good and they're sold. So raw material are lying around in my godown, in my storage for 2 months. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try to estimate the amount of raw material that will be lying for 2 months. Okay. So what is the total quantity that I'm producing? I'm making 1,80,000 units in a year. So I'll put 1,80,000 raw material. I'll put 1,80,000. This is the total units that I'm making. What is the quantity or the amount that is invested in raw material? That is 20 rupees. 20 rupees gets invested in raw material. Okay, so the total amount is 180 into 20. This is the total requirement for the year of raw material. If I'm making 1,89 units, but this amount is not lying around for the whole year. It is lying for only 2 months. So it is going to be 2 upon 12. That means this is the total investment. I hope it is clear to everyone. This is the total investment in raw material during the year, but the amount is not lying around for 12 months. It is only lying around for 2 months. So I'm going to calculate by if for the year it is this much, then what would it be for 2 months? So I'll calculate. This would come out to be 1,80,000 into 20 divided by 6. This is 6 lakh. This is 6 lakh. Is it visible? It is 6 lakh. So I'll put 6 lakh over here. That my amount that would remain invested in raw material would be 6 lakh. Okay. Now I'll move on to the next information that is given in the question. It's not, you don't have to do anything. It's very easy. Just focus on understanding the concept. What is happening? That is what I want to explain. If you go by the formula, if you just learn the formula, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this, and done. It's very easy. But I'll try to explain to you that what is actually happening. Okay, so please try to focus on that as well. Second, I'm going to talk about work in progress. So work in progress says assume 50% completion in regards to material, labor, and overhead. That means working. What is the meaning of work in progress? Work in progress means that the good is not 100% complete. It is 50% complete. Where did I get the amount 50%? It is given to in the question that assume 50% is complete. Okay, but now what will be the price? Would the price or the amount still be 20? No, it would not be 20. Why not? Because now the amount has changed. I have added some labor and I've added some overhead. So now the amount becomes 40. Now the amount becomes 40. By work in progress, huh? You got the raw material, you put some labor, you put some other expenses. So now the total amount is 40. Right? So same work in progress 180. I'm going to multiply by 40 now. Why? Because now I'm not expending 20. 20 is just for raw material. I've taken the raw material, I've taken the labor, I've taken the overhead. So the total amount that is invested in work in progress is 180, that 1,80,000. That is the number of units into the amount that is invested on each unit. Okay. Also, one more thing. For how long would this be lying around in the factory? It is saying uh, half a month production. Half a month production. So we are going to multiply with half a month. Because this is the amount into half divided by 12. This will give me 180 into 40 into zero point 0.5 divided by 2. Something is not right. 180 into 40 divided by 12 into 0.5. This is 3 lakh. So my 3 lakh rupees would remain invested in my work in progress. Okay. Next. Next we're talking about finished good. Remain in work average for 1 month. By 1 month's worth of finished good remain in the factory. So finished good, everything is complete, 100%. Oh, yes, also I'm going to multiply this by 50%. Why? Because it is not 100% complete. This amount is not 100% complete. It is only work in progress. So it would be 50%. This amount would become 1,50,000. Okay. This would be 1,50,000. All right. Now, when I'm talking about finished good, it is saying 1 month finished good So 180 units into 40. Everything is complete now. Into 1 upon 12. This is the amount that will be lying around in my go down finish. That is 6 lakh. That is 6 lakh. Let's just see if everything we are doing is right. Yes, absolutely right. 115, 6 lakh. Okay. Please pay attention on one thing. I would like to draw your attention to, that is this 50%. Why am I adding 50%? Because this is work in progress. It is not 100% complete. On the other hand, finished good, it is ready, 100% complete. So I'm not going to add anything over here because this is finished good, it is 100% complete. Okay, clear? Next, moving on. Supplier of material, that means our creditor, they extend 1 month credit. Okay, they extend 1 month credit. All right, that is great. So I'll come to creditors now. Okay, creditors for 180. This is the total units I'm making during the year into 20. Why into 20? Because this is the amount I'm purchasing for. This is the raw material purchasing. 20 is the amount that I'm paying my suppliers, and they extend me 1 month credit. Okay, this will be 180 into 20 divided by 12. This would be 3 lakh. This would be 3 lakh. Bank overdraft is not given to you in the question. Bank balance over here, it is not given to you in the question. If it is given, then we are going to add. If it is not given, then there's nothing we can do about it, right? Yes, sir. Okay, okay. Then moving on, the last part of the question is, yes, finished good is done, raw material is done, cash is done. It's saying supply of material extend 1 month credit. Okay, we complete. Debtors are provided 2 months credit. Now cash sales are 25%. Cash sales are 25%. Then what is credit sales? 75%. 75%, and they have provided 2 month credit. Okay, clear. So we're going to talk about debtors now. So 180. This is the total unit that I have. My selling price is 50. My selling price is 50. Okay. So my selling price is 50. This is the total amount of sales during the year. But 100% is not credit sales. Only 75% is credit sales. That is why I have 75%. Okay. And what is the time period they're allowed to make the payment? That is 2 months. Okay. So calculate 180 into 50 into 0.75 into 2 divided by 12. This is 11 lakh 25,000. 11 lakh 25,000. Okay. Clear? Chaliye, let's go to the question and see if everything is remaining. This point is also done. Now it's saying there is a time lag in payment of wages. That means, what does this mean? This means there is some outstanding wages. And in case of overhead expenses payment, also there is some outstanding amount. And that is a month in case of wages and half a month in case of overheads. Okay, no problem. So I'll come to current liability side and I'll write outstanding wages and I'll write outstanding expenses. For wages, I have 180 units into what is the amount of wages? Amount of wages is 5 rupees. Amount of wages is 5 rupees. So I'll take 5 rupees into 5. This is the total amount of wages that I am expending on all units, this amount. Okay, but my wages remain outstanding for 1 month, right? So 1 upon 12, so 180 into 5 divided by 12. This is 75,000 would be outstanding wages. And what would be outstanding expense? So 180, this is my total units that I'm making, into what is the amount of overhead? 15. Overhead is 15 into 15. This remain outstanding for half a month. So 180 into 15 into 0.5 divided by 12. This is 1 lakh 12,500. Clear? Clear? Now I'll just this is my question, this is my solution. Now I'll just calculate the total. Okay, so I'll write total of A. I'll add all these. This is my total current asset. Okay, so I'll add 6 lakh plus 6 lakh plus 1 lakh 15,000 plus 11 lakh 25,000 plus 20,000. This is 2495,000. Okay, and what is my current liability? This is my total of B. This comes out to be 3 lakh plus 75,000 plus 1 lakh 12,500. This is 487500. If I calculate net working capital, I'll deduct all this. It is 200,7500. This is the total amount of working capital that the company requires to maintain at all times. Let's just see if whatever we have done is right. No, it's wrong. There's some slight error. Let's just check it out. I think some in this amount, maybe there's some error in this amount. Let's go back again. Yes. So overhead is 15. It is saying this time lag is half a month. Time lag is half a month. Okay. So 180 into 15 into half a month. That is what we should do, right? No, better. That is not what we are going to do. See, the question says one thing. The mistake I made, it was intentional, so that I can understand this, explain this point, and you don't make this mistake. See what it's saying. It is saying including depreciation of 5 rupees. Including depreciation of 5 rupees. Do you think depreciation can be outstanding? Have you ever heard about depreciation being outstanding? No. Depreciation is never outstanding. That is why we're not going to take 15. We're going to take 10 only. We're going to take 10. Okay. So this is not going to be 15. This is going to be 10. Okay. Please don't make this mistake. 180 into 10 divided by 12 divided by 2. It is 75,000. Okay. And my total comes out to be 2045,000. 2045,000. This is the amount of working capital that I have estimated. This is the amount that I will try to maintain at all times during the year. Maintain at all times. Let's just see if whatever we have done is right. No, it's wrong. There's some slight error. Let's just check it out. I think some in this amount, maybe there's some error in this amount. Let's go back again. Yes. So overhead is 15. It is saying this time lag is half a month. Time lag is half a month. Okay. So 180 into 15 into half a month. That is what we should do, right? No, better. That is not what we are going to do. See, the question says one thing. The mistake I made, it was intentional, so that I can understand this, explain this point, and you don't make this mistake. See what it's saying. It is saying including depreciation of 5 rupees. Including depreciation of 5 rupees. Do you think depreciation can be outstanding? Have you ever heard about depreciation being outstanding? No. Depreciation is never outstanding. That is why we're not going to take 15. We're going to take 10 only. We're going to take 10. Okay. So this is not going to be 15. This is going to be 10. Okay. Please don't make this mistake. 180 into 10 divided by 12 divided by 2. It is 75,000. Okay. And my total comes out to be 2045 000. 2045 000. This is the amount of working capital that I have estimated. This is the amount that I will try to maintain at all times during the year.